Hey, welcome everybody. Wanted to show you a quick video on setting up your interactive notebook for our class. So I did ask that you have a spiral of some kind. Doesn't matter how many pages, what it looks like. Composition notebook, doesn't matter. You just need to have it for class. We are going to be using it for notes, for our writing, responding with questions, anything that we don't do digitally on Google Classroom will be in here. So skip about the first 10 pages. Those will be for our table of contents to help us stay organized. And once you get past that to technically the 11th page, you can go ahead and number them. So start on the left-hand side. So here's my example for our first set of notes. And on the left-hand side, you see I got number 1 for the left-hand page, and then notes will always be on the right. So I numbered this one number 2. So on the left, if you've ever had an interactive notebook before, this is where you would put handouts, you could glue them, you could draw charts, you could doodle related to information that's in the notes on the right. The left side is either blank, if you don't have anything to glue in there, or write, charts, diagrams, things like that. And then the left will always be for your, the right will always be for actual notes. So what I've got here is information that is in the link for, it's a Prezi, which is just a fancy word for presentation. And it's on the class expectations for you to know what's expected of you and some procedures and things like that. So I've got my name, even though you technically don't need your name, you're going to be using this spiral only for English, so that should be just fine. And the date. I titled it Class Expectations, and we are an Avid school-wide school, so I have an essential question here. Make sure that when you're taking notes, and this is just a life skill, that you don't have to write every single word that the teacher always gives you, or if you're copying notes from something. So my essential question, you'll see it on there as much longer. I abbreviated it, so feel free to pause and write it like mine, or write it in your own words, as long as you get the most important information. Then I wrote down the rules, which you can see there. I wrote down some things you could do instead of just saying, I don't know, if I call on you in class. So feel free to pause and write down some of those. This one's really important. The no put downs are bullying. I abbreviated the consequences. When we're entering our virtual meeting, starting Monday, it's really important that you have your book and that you enter quietly, which is fine, your mic is off, and that you are reading for the first 10 minutes. When we exit, not always, it doesn't work out perfectly, but the idea is that I will play music and then we will do an exit ticket. Now my notes continued beyond that first page. So remember that we're not using the back, page 3. I did number it page 3 here, but the left side is always that charts, handouts, diagrams. So then I continued my notes on page 4. And so what we've got up here, when I'm done, what I can do, and I wrote down some ideas. I wrote down the music cues and the names of those. I wrote down, if I'm absent, what do I do? Really important that you make an appointment with me. You can use the link for that, which is on the first day, that intro DL Google slide deck that has the apples with me waving. There is a link there to the form to sign up for an office hour time. And then you've got standards-based grading, which I can explain more on Monday. If you're confused, or feel free to send me an email or set up office hours. Your grade is not based on just completing work. It's not an effort in any way. Zero about your effort. It's all about, can you master standards? Sorry, that got a little messy there, but I highlighted that because it's so important, the mastery of standards. Make sure you check out the rubric. You could even print the rubric out if you want and put it on your left side of your interactive notebook, or you could draw it, because the rubric is really important to give you an idea of how you're scored for your assignments, since it's not about work completion. It's not about effort. So this is how you should set it up. And then when you're done with your notes, these notes, you can take a picture of it and turn it into me, and we'll be working with it more on Monday.